Donald Trump had a psychotic meltdown all day yesterday, hiding in shame at his golf course, away from the press. He refused to be seen in public. He was making post after post after post, each one more deranged than the next. He left the White House at approximately 11:31 a.m. He arrived at his golf course nearby at 12:04 p.m. He called a lid throughout the day, meaning he basically banned the press, and then he just started making some of the strangest social media posts. He was posting images of himself and Kim Jong-un. He was making posts of himself during his criminal trial with the text that says, "Only Trump." He was making AI posts of former President Obama's presidential library in Chicago and making it look like a trash can. And then Donald Trump goes, "The Obama library 10 years from now will be a, quote, mecca for those who hate America." President DJT. So Donald Trump being racist and divisive and disgusting. Then he posts these weird photos of himself. He's posted like hundreds of these yesterday. I'm just going to show you some of the posts. He posted this weird photo of himself that says, "Years ago, after saving the Woolman skating rink in Central Park, long before I fixed the reflecting pool and everything else in Washington, D.C., including, most importantly, crime." And he puts that in caps, exclamation point. Donald J. Trump. You want to talk about the reflecting pool? It is literally Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green right now. There's more algae in this reflecting pool right now than ever before. I warned about this for the past month and a half, 2 months, when this ridiculous reflecting pool plan was first announced. I said, as long as the water source is still coming from the Potomac, unless you make some massive changes to the filtration system and find some way to just completely destroy the concept of algae and how algae spreads, I said, there's going to be more algae than ever. And when you paint the bottom blue like that, it's just going to create a situation where the algae looks even more pronounced. And it seems that Donald Trump did even more damage to the filtration system than existed before. And so there's algae everywhere. I mean, it literally looks Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle green. So that's what you're bragging about right now. The reflecting pool couldn't look worse right now. More posts from Donald Trump. He posts this photo of a Fortune magazine from 1986. Real estate upheaval. How to profit from today's new market as homeowner, manager, and investor. High roller Donald Trump says he'll make a killing despite tax reform. Okay, why are you posting this right now? And then he posts this weird AI image of himself wearing a shirt that says Commander-in-Chief, and it says, "You're getting discombobulated." What do you mean you're getting discombobulated? What are these ships? What in the world am I even observing right there? And it should be noted too that while Donald Trump's posting AI images like this, over the past 24 to 48 hours, he's been using our troops as props like this in the Lincoln Memorial. And he's having our troops basically pose as like UFC fighters come down the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, take a look at this. He's using honor guards at UFC events right now, standing at attention. I mean, what are we even doing there? This is what's going on in front of the White House right now. Like, what in the world even is this right now? As Josiah says, this is not the America we need, but it's quite frankly one we deserve. What the F? This is what's going on in front of the White House right now. Play this clip. Or then he's got motorcycles that are like flying around the White House. Well, what is going on? Idiocracy, I guess, was based on what they said America was going to be 500 years from now. This is quite literally worse. The White House looks like some junkyard. The reflecting pool is infested. You got people on the White House stage doing whatever that was. You've got the people in the motorcycle. What in the world is even going on right there? And this is what they posted on the White House account. America AF, Eagle, American flag with people on motorcycles in the Nitro Circus, sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee Company. And there's like Monster Energy and Bud Light, to see the White House with these sponsorships all over. Like, We all realize how degrading this is to our country right now, right? Like, this is a humiliation ritual that he's putting us through. A recent Reuters Ipsos poll that just came out yesterday found that only 16% of Americans thought it was appropriate for Donald Trump to hold a mixed martial arts cage match at the White House tonight to celebrate his 80th birthday right now. Oh, and to make matters worse for Donald Trump and to kind of haunt him and taunt him on his birthday, the latest polling shows that in a 2028 presidential matchup, Hunter Biden would beat J.D. Vance in a head-to-head. Hunter Biden leads J.D. Vance by plus 4.3% in a hypothetical 2028 matchup right now. Well, let's check in with J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance is on Meet the Press today, and he's trying to defend Donald Trump's deal with Iran, despite J.D. Vance and Trump saying it's going to be full surrender by Iran. We're doing regime change. We're going to get everything we want. That's when it's the opposite of that. By the way, I'm glad that there's a deal. I'm glad. Hopefully there is one. You know, who the hell knows with this Trump regime. I want to be out of there. No more of these catastrophic wars. This should never have happened in the first place. Seriously, you know, I'm just hoping and praying for my fellow Americans and for others that this ends and we could try to I don't know, but J.D. Vance is out there saying that everybody knows that World War II finished in a similar way. That's how we won World War II, through a negotiation like this. J.D. Vance, you may want to reflect on history, but okay, J.D., go ahead. Wait. Tell us what happened, J.D. Let's play this clip.
If you go back to World War II, if you go back to World War I, if you go back to every major conflict in human history, they all end with some kind of negotiation.
And while Donald Trump's out there making posts like that, and J.D. Vance is saying that Israel's defense minister, Katz, is out there saying that we're not going to abide by any ceasefire or any deal. As Joe Kent, Donald Trump's former number 2 at ODNI, the Office of Director of National Intelligence, says, here's what he posts. Step 1 in ensuring that any peace deal has a chance, restrain Israel. Right now, Israel's ability to conduct consistent strikes into Iran is heavily dependent on U.S. assistance. As Israel's own defense minister spells out below, Israel has different objectives than we do, and it's clear that they will not be inclined to adhere to a peace agreement. The stated intent runs wholly counter to U.S. objectives, yet Israel cannot sustain wars on multiple fronts without financial and military support from the U.S. Until they are able to do so, their actions will continue to interfere with our strategic goals and drag the U.S. into conflicts that don't serve us. Make no mistake, this is a threat to sabotage our deal. But we can remove the leverage, take away the military support we're providing Israel immediately to preserve the potential of ending the foolish war. That's Trump's number 2 at the ODNI. And here's what Israel's defense secretary just posted. The U.S. president is currently leading toward an agreement with Iran out of a view of American interest, including the shared interest with Israel to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. And we expect him to uphold this principle and additional principles in the realm of missiles and terrorist proxies. Together, we've inflicted a severe blow on Iran that have set back its capabilities by many years. Israel must ensure that in the future as well, we will have the ability to act independently to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and I have instructed the IDF to prepare accordingly. Israel will not withdraw from the security zones in Lebanon, Syria, and Gaza. The IDF will continue to defend our borders and our citizens from the peak of Mount Hermon, the mountains of Lebanon, the areas of our land in the Samaria region, and most of the territory of Gaza against the threats posed by the jihadist forces and organizers as a central lesson from the events of October 7th. The IDF will not withdraw from terrorist camps in northern Samaria, which have been evacuated of residents, and if necessary, operations will be expanded to additional terrorist camps. Our security doctrine is sharp and clear. We act against both near and distant threats and strive for decisive outcomes rather than compromises and concessions. Much is at stake in this period, and we are determined to continue leading a firm security policy that will prevent harm to our security achievements and will not endanger our ability to fight against the Shiite axis of evil led by Iran and the Sunni axis of evil led by the Muslim Brotherhood. I wish to express great appreciation to the IDF command. So, I mean, he's basically saying they're saying it out loud, that we are going to work to undermine any U.S. peace deal with Iran. I mean, that's what they're saying right there. I mean, they're saying it pretty clearly. That's why I wanted to read all of those words for you right there. And I also want to point this out as well, because I want to go back to the reporting that we did here at the MeidasTouch Network from last weekend. Do you remember when we reported how Iran was able to successfully target a U.S. radar site at Jabal ad-Dukhan in Bahrain? Remember, CENTCOM said that didn't happen. I remember reading a lot of comments saying, Ben, we're not hearing this anywhere else. You're claiming that Iran successfully hit a radar facility. No one else is reporting it. You know, you've reported on other things that are true, but this would be a big deal, right? Wouldn't we learn about this from other places? Well, in the past 24 hours, what do we know? Satellite, that's what I told you was going to happen. Satellite imagery shows the complete destruction of AR-327 early warning radar site at Jabal al-Dukhan, Bahrain, following an Iranian missile drone attack on June 11th. By the way, it wasn't that hard for me to figure it out. I was watching on June 11th, and I saw the Iranian ballistic missile hit it, and then I saw it blow up, and I said, that seems to be where the radar is located. And so that gets covered up by CENTCOM as well. You know, I truly pray for the safety, and I hope for the safety of people in DC and everywhere, of course. But, you know, this event is very, very dangerous. You know, we know that pilots are having to divert their flights away from Reagan Airport in DC. MeidasTouch Network did an exclusive on that. Aaron Parnas got the exclusive. Pilots are not able to land in Reagan right now because the lights that are coming up from this UFC stadium are impairing the pilot's vision right now. So they have to travel other places because there's an event taking place. And we talked about the pilots making reports to the FAA and to others about this situation. So this is serious stuff. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, of course. What a strange time. Hang in there. We're in this together. Thanks for watching, everybody. New Meidas merch. Head to store.meidastouch.com today and get yourself the best pro-democracy gear and show your support. That's store.meidastouch.com.